Every year, more and more intelligent black Americans, particularly black men, are leaving the United States. Now, this isn't like alarmist, an alarmist message or this sensationalism. No, I live in Mexico. I've been here since 2013. My state is Querétaro, one of the most beautiful states in central Mexico. I didn't say North Mexico. I didn't say near the border. Central Mexico, real Mexico, authentico Mexico. Okay, and it's a beautiful state. And for the most part, people are very friendly, warm and welcoming. Right. And every year, about twice a year, I go to the U.S. consulate to do my residency verification. I do a residency verification so I can remain tax exempt. So every year when I go to the consulate, I also check the national census, right? And the national census for Mexico says that every year about 500 to 800 black Americans migrate to Mexico. Well, there's a lot of reasons behind that. For one thing, the cost of living is amazing. For whatever you make in the States, you bring that money down to Mexico and you can live at least two levels above what you're normally used to living. You can buy, you can have a nice life, a comfortable life. I'm not saying you can be rich or be like a king. No. But you can have a very comfortable life. Most importantly, and I've heard this from several other black Americans that I've come across in some of my group meetings and stuff like that. We don't have to worry about debt and we don't have to worry about finances. And that right there is a huge weight off of your shoulders and off your soul. A lot of Americans are in debt and they live in like paycheck to paycheck. And it's a huge burden and it's a huge stress on the human mind and the human body. Well, you can get out from under that coming down here. But, I'm here because I had a relative and a friend that were already down here and they introduced me to this beautiful country. And I got down here and after a week, I was like, yeah, this is why I'm retiring. I'm not saying this is the best country in the world. I'm not saying that I don't think there's other countries that are better because there are some other countries that I think are better. I just don't think that the cost of living is worthwhile. But the point of this video is intelligent black Americans are leaving the United States. They're not leaving in droves because, 500 to 800 a year, that's not a huge number. But take that number, and that number has not lowered, okay? Those numbers have not lowered. Every twice a year I check on it. Those numbers go up. Those numbers go up every year. So every year, more and more black Americans are migrating to other countries. Not just Mexico. You got a lot going to Canada as well. And Mexico and Canada gets a lot of black Americans because, it's easy access. These countries are bordering the United States. So it's easy to get to them. It's easy to apply for citizenship and residency. And so that's why these two countries get a lot of people. But I know black American men in Brazil, Uruguay, Belize, and Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, and Colombia. I know guys that are there right now, because the veterans group I'm in, we all keep in contact and we have very various like means of contact, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. But the point of this video is black Americans that are still in America. And if you're having a hard time and if you feel like America is just, the racial climate is not what you feel like it should be, or if you feel like that you deserve a better, quality of living, well, my suggestion is to you is to think about migrating to other countries. You can still maintain your American citizenship and just be a resident in other countries. You don't have to give up your passport. I don't give up my passport because I do overseas contracting. So I need my American passport intact so I can do a lot of contracts in various places. So, but my suggestion is get outside that box that you guys put yourself in. Black Americans put themselves in a box. And they act as though they can't get outside that box and start looking outside the box. whether it be the life you're living, whether it be the location you're in, whether it be the type of work you're in. A lot of black Americans put themselves in a box. It's kind of the way we were programmed from birth. But that doesn't mean you're a victim to it. Doesn't mean you're trapped in that type of mentality. You can step out of it. Because when black Americans step out of the American culture and society and start embracing other cultures, they're able to look back at the American culture and see some of the flaws that black America has. And black America has flaws. Hey, every race in America has flaws. But yes, black America has flaws. And if you're a black American, you should be the one to be able to point out those flaws. Now, in the sense of men and women, this is one thing that got my attention. When I asked one of the people at the consulate, about black men versus black women, and they immediately cut me off. The lady cut me off. Oh, no. We always get black men in processing. We very rarely see black women coming into the country. And she asked me, she goes, well, how many black women do you know in like your groups, your Facebook groups, or your veterans club? I said, none. And I only know one black man that came down here with his black wife, and he divorced her like 2 years ago. She's back in the States. And I've met a total of, I think, around 5 black women since I've lived in Mexico, since 2013. And most of them, 3 of them were visiting, just like a vacation. And they went back to the States. The other 2, like I said, one of them was married to a black man, but he kicked her out, and she cheated, and he kicked her out, and she's gone back to the States. The other woman, she was here on business, but she said she was thinking about living here. But her number one complaint was like, the dating scene was not very appealing to her. And the reason why that is because it's jacked up to say this, but Latin women are seeking black men. They're looking for black men. There's a lot of myths that they want to explore that black men have, and one of those myths is very true, and I talked about that in another video. But strong black men, Latin women seek those guys out. It's hard for a man to not find a woman when he comes down here. But black women, because of the stereotypes and the myths that go along with them and their bad attitudes, Latin men are not seeking out black American women. Not black American women. Like, I know this one Latin guy, he wanted to date he dated a girl from Uganda, and he also dated a girl from Ethiopia. So those are not black American women, those are black African women, from the African continent. But when I asked him about black American women, he's like, no, I don't want that attitude. I don't deal with that attitude. Mexico is still one of those countries where men are not going to put up with no shitty attitude, or men are not going to take any type of disrespect from a woman publicly. Now, Latin women will disrespect shit out their men, if they mad at them in the house. But that mentality of public respect and public appreciation, that's still a big deal here in Mexico. Like, you don't have a lot of Latin women disrespecting their man publicly because they know that they might be kicked out of the house real soon. So that was very interesting for me to learn at the consulate. More black men are coming in every year. Very few black women come in, and when they do, they're just visiting. What does that tell me? It tells me that black women are losing their options, because most black men that leave the States are not ignorant fools. They're not wearing their pants down below their butt. They're not they're not the N-word. They're black people. They're black men. They're not the N-word. And those are the type of men that black women in America should be seeking, but they're not. Black women are always going after the Ray Rays, the Pookies, the Tyrones, and they're very disrespectful to the intelligent black men. And it's not until they get older that they start seeking out the intelligent black men. But those black men are leaving. They're either already taken, or they're just leaving altogether and exploring their options in other races and finding happiness. I know guys in Thailand, I know guys in Japan, And I know guys in South Korea, black men, married and happy. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm jealous of a couple of them. You know, like I visited one guy in South Korea and Incheon, excuse me, and man, his wife took care of him so well. I was jealous. I was jealous. And he even told me, he was like, yeah, in South Korea though, man, you know, there is a lot of it's not racism, but there's a lot of stigmas applied to black men, and so he doesn't get treated. He doesn't feel like he gets treated fairly all the time. He said, however, it is 10 times better than the United States. He goes, I have never had like the type of racism I experienced in the States here, so I ain't going nowhere. And he said his wife is great all the way around. Cook, clean, great in bed. She enjoys being taking care of the home. They actually had an argument because he suggested that she go get a job, and she was like, "No, I take care of the house. That's my job." So I'm not gonna go too long in this, but wanted to do this video because I know I need Black Americans to understand that there's a whole lot of options out in the world, but y'all put yourself in a box and you end up, you know, closing the door on a whole lot of opportunities. But there are every year there's about, like I said, 500 to 800 Black American men, mostly, who are intelligent, willing to step outside the box and just explore another world, a new life, a new culture. And I for one, I love the United States. I'm a veteran. I served proudly, but I don't have any intention of moving back to the States. I might go back there for work, do a contract for, you know, a few months and come back to here because I got my home here. Or if I do leave Mexico, I would leave Mexico for Japan, South Korea, maybe Thailand. But I don't. The United States is not in my future anymore as far as me putting down roots. My retirement home is here. My roots are here now, and I just want you. I'm not saying that that will happen for everybody, but I would like for more Black Americans to just kind of open their eyes, open their ears, be more observant, be more intelligent, and just step outside the box, even if you do it briefly. All right, guys, this is a too long of a video. So you guys have a good one. Stay tuned.